Hola y bienvenidos otra vez a la sección de mi blog para aprender el idioma español, especialmente ahora las cosas audiovisuales como software y varias cosas para escuchar. Welcome to the Spanish learning section of my language learning blog. This is Brendan, and this is going to be a brief video on some audiovisual resources that I've been using over the past month and a half to work on my Spanish knowledge. First and foremost, related to my previous video that I did on destinos, which I feel is the #1 resource that anyone should use in this day and age to learn conversational Spanish. Here, indeed, is the website for Annenberg, which I mentioned, where you can stream all 52 episodes of Destinos for free. It is www.learner.org, learner.org. That is Annenberg Learner's website, and on it they have the entire TV series from 1992, 52 half-hour episodes, Destinos, and Introduction to Spanish. That is not the purpose of this video, though. In this video, I wanted to show you guys some audio resources and a couple pieces of software that I've been using, also some other websites. Let me do the websites first since my computer's here. So we're going to navigate. Where is the BBC one? Let's see. Here it is. BBC Languages has a really cool little interactive website, a little interactive Let's Learn Spanish thing called Mi Vida Loca. And it is I think it's 26 episodes. How many episodes is it? Let's see. Let's scroll down here. The website is www.bbc.co.uk/languages/Spanish/Mi Vida Loca. And on that, basically, there are 22 episodes. You can print out syllabuses, and you can go through each episode, and it's interactive. And basically, you've arrived at an apartment that you're subletting in Spain, only to find out that the person you're subletting from is not there, and her sister mysteriously is. And I guess there's some sort of mystery to find out what happened to your friend whose apartment you're supposed to be staying at. And through the process of doing that little adventure, you learn how to order things at barista places, at bars, coffee and beer and stuff. You learn how to eat. You learn how to ask directions, all this kind of stuff. I've only done episodes 1 and 2, but it's really fun, and it's basically a combination of video and then sort of like a text adventure video game from the 80s, if you guys remember that, where you type in turn right and do this or whatever. You don't quite do that. It prompts you for exactly what you need to enter next. But it's really cool. Again, this is BBC Languages Spanish Mi Vida Loca. The screen that's on there right now is Episodio Uno, and highly recommend that. I haven't gone through the whole thing, but so far just episodes 1 and 2 is really fun. Let's see. What else do we have on here? I think that's what I wanted to show you guys. Well, I can show you here. I have this. This is a scene from BBC's Musi, which is a wonderful multilingual video series that you can get. In this case, I purchased a used copy of some Spanish Musi resources online, which I subsequently sold back after I ripped the DVDs, but at least I did purchase. And I also did the same for Chinese. I can't recommend that enough for Mandarin. It's pretty amazing. But the Spanish one is really cool, and you get the picture, you get audio. It's I forget, I think parts 1 to 6 is like 45 minutes long, or maybe even longer, and it's a really good story. It's for kids, but you learn very good basic vocabulary. This is a scene from near the beginning of the story where Musi El Gigante, that guy, the giant, the big Musi guy, he likes to eat clocks. That's what he eats. He can't eat fruits and vegetables and stuff. He eats clocks, but he sees some parking meters, and they're kind of related to clocks, so he wants to eat those. It's explaining why he's in jail, and then he meets the hero of the story, Juan, the gardener, etc. Anyway, it's really good. It's a great resource. You may be able to find it online, though you're not really supposed to, but you can certainly purchase used copies of the Spanish Musi from Amazon or what have you, which is what I did in the first place. This is just playing through VLC Media Player, which I like to use on my PC. Let's look at some other resources here, and I'll explain to you. Since we're in the software mode, let me show you. This I picked up at a dollar store. This is Visual Language Spanish. Actually, I lie. I found this on the street along with some other resources I'm going to show you in a second. This is a piece of software. There's not much to it, but it does have, I can't get too close because camera here won't focus on it. But basically, it just has some scenes in and around cities and in and around classrooms, and you click on things, and it kind of obnoxiously at high volumes and somewhat distorted tells you what the Spanish is for it. It flashes on the screen. I don't really recommend this one unless you're an absolute beginner, because it's very tedious to use, and after like 35 seconds of it, I wanted to throw it out the window. But it is a good resource for absolute beginners. This is my favorite computer resource. This is called Language Learning with Spider-Man. It's a CD-ROM that uses Internet Explorer on a PC. I'm not quite sure what browser it would use on a Mac. It may not be Mac compatible. It's definitely designed for PC, this one. And from this, you actually load... it's actually counterintuitive. What it tells you that you want to load as your primary language is actually the language you should try to learn. And then the language you're trying to learn, you should load your primary language, in this case English. But you can go from any of these languages to any. So with this DVD, you can go from English, French, German, Italian, or Spanish to English, French, German, Italian, or Spanish. In this case, I'm going from English to Spanish. So what I do is I load it up so that basically what this is an entire issue, a digital issue that's browsable with Internet Explorer of the newer incarnation of Marvel's Ultimate Spider-Man from the 90s and early 2000s. It's an actual issue of the comic book. I don't know what issue it is. And basically, they've kind of made it interactive with the bubbles and the audio. So you see page by page on your screen. And then you can click on each bubble, whether it's a thought bubble or a dialogue bubble, and you actually hear a native Spanish speaker say it in Spanish or French or Italian or German or whatever language you're looking for. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, it has the text both in Spanish and in English, and you can click on individual words and get dictionary definitions if it's in the database. It's really, really cool. You need the CD-ROM every time you use it. It prompts you to put it in your computer because it doesn't actually download to your computer, but I'm sure you could rip an ISO of it if you really want to keep it local on your hard drive and not have to keep loading the CD-ROM each time. But this is a lot of fun. I think I'm on page 5 of like a 23 or 26 page comic book, and I'm really enjoying it. This one I found on the street. This is the audio for Dos Mundos. I highly recommend any of the audios for Spanish textbooks. Basically, I don't have the textbook for this, but I like to just listen to the audios while I'm walking around, and you hear real native Spanish speakers from Latin America or Spain just saying random things like they want to go to the post office and how much does this cost, and they'd like to rent a room, and this is really big and that thing is red, and whatever else it is. But I highly recommend these. Here's some other example resources. My roommate, I think it was, threw these away, or the guy upstairs, not sure. This is the CD-ROM and CD audio series for Panorama, another introductory or low intermediate advanced beginner level Spanish book, and these are great to listen to. Again, just all Spanish basic conversation. Sometimes they're prompted with English instructions. This is the Houghton Mifflin World Languages. These were designed to go with various textbooks. This is a 2 CD series called let's open this up, sorry for the lack of focus. Basic Spanish for Getting Along. This is the CD, this 2 CD series that would accompany the textbook. This is actually great. It's entirely in Spanish. I put it in my CD player. I walk around with it. This is Houghton Mifflin's World Languages program component for their textbook called Basic Spanish. And this one actually has 4 CDs and an instruction manual. I also found this on the street. It was a nice thing to find. It's the advantage of living in a city in a somewhat literate community. This one I also found on the street. This is quite expensive. I have this for sale in my Amazon store for a lot of money, I think. This is a 10 or a 12 LP speed but 45 size record set. It's actually Español sin esfuerzo, a simile, but it's strange. It's apparently it's Spanish for French-speaking people, but the entire thing is an immersion program. It's only in Spanish, so it really doesn't matter what it is. But all of the cultural references are about somebody from Paris visiting Spain. But it's really wonderful, and it's complete. I was really lucky. I'm assuming it came with some kind of book, probably the Assimil Spanish Without Toil, or Spanish Without Tears series, which if you guys have seen those on Amazon, they're really expensive. It's kind of hard to find them. They're out of print as far as I know, and usually the textbook, which is actually a mass market paperback in many cases, is like $30 or $20, $50 or something like that. So I was really lucky to find this. I ripped it. I have a USB turntable, so I ripped this to MP3s. I put it on my phone and I listen to this when I walk around town. This is not beginning Spanish though. This is definitely high advanced beginner or intermediate Spanish. After like the third lesson, it gets really fast, and there's no cues for like situational cues for some of the vocabulary because there's no pictures and I don't have the textbook, so I don't have any of the explanations. So as an immersion, the Asimil Español sin esfuerzo is definitely for higher level, not beginner. This one I picked up in the neighborhood for a couple dollars. This is Berlitz Spanish audio series on LP from the 1950s. This is the self-teaching record course for Spanish. I'll let you guys see the label there. This is extremely hard to find. I currently have this listed on Amazon. I think I'm one of two people in the entire United States that has a copy of this listed. I'm sure I'll sell it at some point. I also was lucky enough on Craigslist to get the complete set of German for the same thing, which actually originally came with a beautiful spiral-bound textbook, the same size as the record case. Unfortunately, I don't have the textbook for the Spanish one, but I really don't need it. This one I can't recommend enough. The audio is at a beginner level, and then it gradually gets more advanced, but the story's really cool. It's got really campy music. It's really fun. It's in the same kind of campy and wacky spirit of the Berlitz Teach Yourself book that we went over in one of the other videos that I did. This is a really great series. I was really lucky to find this. This is a lot of fun. I had this on my MP3 player, and I very frequently listen to... I never quite make it past like a third of the way because I think it's like 6 hours total of Spanish. I usually make it to like hour 2, and then I'm done walking around for the day, whether I'm in the park or whatever, and I just put it away. But I think I'm going to try to listen to the whole thing before I go to Mexico. Anyway, this is a long enough video. These were some of the resources that I enjoy using audio and visual wise. Thanks for watching and listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.